Hello everyone, and I'm Julie. And today I have a very special guest, and he is called Mark Chen, and who is studying in the Department of Computer Science and Information Engineering. And he has gone through many kinds of experience and attend a lot of activity, especially for the startup. So I feel that he's so talented. It's made me curious about how he always full of the energy to face different kinds of challenge. So let's get started. Hi Mark, and thanks for you coming. And today I prepared some questions for you about especially for your life story.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so let's get started. And the first one is, how do you feel after finishing the college entrance
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to entrance exam, it's pretty challenging, especially for our students in Taiwan, because the entrance exam from all kind of systems is pretty challenging. But once you finish that exam, you feel that I finished that exam. That's one of the most challenging part of my life, especially when you're learning career. What I'm going to do next is probably the most challenging, even more difficult part compared to taking an entrance exam. So what I feel that is that I got a lot of plans before I get into college. So I'm going to start building my idea on how I'm going to be a better engineer. But when it turned out I'd be a better entrepreneur in EDM. So you have to prepare for what you're going to do for college, and I feel that I'm so happy and have some sort of privilege to have the opportunity to be prepared for college. Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think the most difficult part of the subject in that exam?
Okay, well, when it comes to the most difficult, I think, especially in Taiwan, I've got two very difficult exams. Like Chinese, our level in Chinese, taking exam very high. And secondly, is mathematics, and especially in the Asian country, the math test is typically difficult, especially for high school students. Compared to Western system like US or Europe, there, mathematics typically care about your idea, how you deal with problem, how you approach the mathematical description. But in Taiwan, we care about more on problem solving. And more specifically, how you solve a difficult problem. So it's very different, and I believe that if we want to compare different sort of system, different subject, then I will believe that mathematics is one of the most challenging part of the entire exam.
And how do you think about the differences between the senior high school and the college?
Well, senior high is, I think, by far one of the most memorable part of my life, especially when it comes to learning, because I got most of the A when I went in the senior high. But they also give me a lot of story, because the friends I met, the story I read, and a lot of stuff like there is really awesome. But one disadvantage is that in senior high school, especially in Taiwan, we don't have some sort of flexibility to deal with, to do something that we are interested in, we are passionate about. So sometimes it can be felt to be limited within various short, limited spaces, limited mindset, limited subject you can learn. But when it comes to the college, the difference is that you have maximum flexibility. Even though in Taiwan, our education is relatively conservative compared to our Western system. But still, in Taiwan, our education system, especially in university, is highly flexible and giving you a very high degree of freedom to explore the subject you like. And I believe that that's one of the major differences among between the college as well as the senior high, or the system before you get into the college.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that our students in Taiwan always follow the scores steps. Especially for the academic performance. Yes, I think it's
probably one of the more challenging part. We can only care about scores or GPA.
Yeah.
That would feel like, okay, I lost anything only because I didn't get an A. So that is pretty challenging, especially for Asian student or Chinese student airlines based in China area. Most of the life students from Singapore, like from Hong Kong, like from Taiwan, from Japan, Korea, those students that pretty stressful because they didn't get a good grade, especially in GPA part. So I believe that if we want to make our education system, we need to have a much diverse system in evaluating our student performances.
Yeah, the student always want to, looking for the correct things, and maybe they're afraid of being mistaken.
Yeah, and that's a critical problem. Because in real world, in real life situation, there's not such a typical solution or standard solution for your life, for your career, for your even though you're doing engineering part, there's no such a standard solution for that. Based on my experience in business school, is you have to be very flexible, very flexible, adaptable for your startup project. In order to succeed, you don't only follow a same path. You aren't going to succeed because there are so many situations that are going to happen within a month. There are so many things that may be happening. You have to deal with, so you have to be very flexible and very, your mind should be sharp about, okay, what I'm going to do, how I deal with that, with very time efficient and cost effective manner.
Yeah, exactly. And the second one is until the 2030, Taiwan's government will be pushing policies called bilingual education. And it is a new turn point for Taiwan's education. So do you have any ideas about that?
Okay, that's a pretty good question because that when it comes to bilingual, one of the great countries doing that is Singapore. But Singapore is not actually a perfect bilingual country because they don't have an official language called Chinese, but typically most of Chinese Asian in Singapore can speak Chinese back in the day. And they also have bilingual English, which attract a lot of foreign companies like from a lot of financial firm or a lot of tech came to Singapore to invest in their country. So I believe that if we want to become a foreign country, like certainly would attract a lot of investment from foreign investors from from the United States or Europe or even Japan or other country. But the challenge is that that idea is pretty great, especially from the perspective of entrepreneur or engineers more specifically. But the challenge is that how we can to implement that policy, which is that if we just follow the step we're going to really done for years, like for the past decades, we have done a lot of our English education. But what we saw based on statistics is that we don't have a significant improvement based on the study in our education system. So the challenge is not what we are going to do, but how can we implement that policy in order to get a better result compared to the last decade. So yeah, that's pretty challenging, especially government right now. We have to deal with the pandemic and all sort of stuff, but I truly believe that if we want to become a bilingual country, then the competitiveness of Taiwan or something going high, going better, going stronger. But the challenge is how we deal with that, because we certainly have the new mindset about English education. We're not just bilingual is not something called you have to be great English exam. You have to be English should be a part of you, which should be part of your
language.
Part of your communication manner. So that was really very challenging. Especially in the past, we regard English as a subject, not as a language. Not as a subject and not a language to use. But a lot of people ask me, "Wow, maybe you're studying before," but I'm not. Actually, I haven't gone to any country to study there. But the problem is that I regard English, especially this kind of foreign language, as a language, not a subject. When a subject was studied and to take exam and get a GPA, that is not the whole purpose of a language, especially when you want to apply that in your career. That's not true. So want to be a better language speaker or any kind of language like English speaker, you have to be a better, stronger speaker. Then you have to adapt the mindset. I use language and I'm taking a subject.
Okay, you also have to take much time to.
Yeah, you have to learn. You have to. Certainly, that in every language, they have written language, they have spoken, you have a reading. You got a lot of stuff to do. So, especially you have to support the environment that full of language. Like you want to study English, then you have to support this environment that is a lot of people speaking English, where you have to read a lot of English material. But a lot of people tell me that, okay, I'm in Taiwan, I don't have that environment to do so. That is challenging, right? But the problem is, that's the excuse, because you can, in the era of digitalization, you can create an environment such like that. We have huge amount, tremendous amount of English podcasts out there with very high quality. There's English podcasts from our great tech firm or consulting firm, like I can see like Google or Microsoft.
Yeah.
And we even have a lot of great English speaker talking about their story.
Yeah.
So you can actually create some sort of environment that just like you want to study abroad. But also you can read a lot. You can write, you know, of any subject in English, the present writing as well as reading. So when it comes to learning English or any other language, you have to expose to that. You have to typically memorize the vocabulary or purchase a book called How to Memorize 1,000 Word by 1,000 Word, 10,000 Word in a month. You don't have to buy that, but you have to be exposed to that environment.
Yeah.
And try to learn through that process.
Just like
versus the English, that the vocabulary will repeat itself, and you find out, what's that word means? What does that mean? Why don't I learn that? I should find out the dictionary and find out, authoritarian is vocabulary pretty challenging. But I'm reading I read a magazine called Economist. I found out, authoritarian is called something system that's very conservative. With the centralized power within one government system. So I found out, here's what I learned. Then you can realize that for very long term. Yeah. Don't worry, just because you want to mention.
Okay. And my third question is, as I mentioned before, that you attend a lot of activities. Yeah. I want to know the startup. Something like this.
Okay.
Obviously, I know the process from the zero to resources part. How did you face this kind of situation?
Well, when you're building a startup, pretty challenging is that you have to recruit people, you have to find some sort of resource to build a business model, to monetize your business idea in order to generate money back. But the problem is that when a lot of people will say, I'm not an entrepreneur because I don't have any money. Yeah, a lot of entrepreneurs, even they are billionaire, or even they are billionaire today, like Mark Chen. They don't even have money.
Yeah.
When they get started, like Bill Gates, they don't have money when they get started. Like Amazon, they only have a very small, a size of meeting room to be like their office. They don't have money for either when you get started. They don't have like a lot of resources there. So. But the truth is that if you don't have that resource, that's okay. You have to have sort of idea in the scale that you need it to equip it with your to help you to empower your entrepreneur journey. So I believe that when it comes to building a startup, one of the most important things is mindset. Mindset first, idea second, and the scale matter. Because to realize all the stuff, you have to have some sort of very strong business engineering skill, especially when you're building a tech startup. For example, I'm building a tech startup on TV. So when it comes to building a tech startup, you have to have a solution or problem. So you have to have engineering team, like we have quality development team or PT team to build a software solution for our customer. So you have to have a skill that you need it. But more importantly, you have a mindset for it. Otherwise, you won't get started because you think of that, I'm not a good entrepreneur, I'm not a business professional, I'm not a millionaire, I don't have social money, I don't have resources, I don't have network. This stuff can be acquired once you get started. Like, if you don't get started, nothing will happen.
And as you mentioned for me, like you also apply the Microsoft Learn Students Ambassadors.
Yeah.
How did you apply it?
Okay. That's pretty awesome experience. I applied this stuff actually back to last year, December or October last year. I found this was a pretty great opportunity, and I just applied within a day actually. And I never thought I would be getting into this program, but I opened the application panel about 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I found out I actually get it in, and I became the only straight student here in Taiwan to have that qualification. So I also partnered with the student in NTU National Taiwan University to host an upcoming event called Sky, Spotism or of Quantum AI. So that's a pretty awesome opportunity to connect with the people that you might be interested in, you might potentially be your partner in the future. So that's a pretty decent opportunity pretty awesome. And for students, especially for on-campus entrepreneurs, you have to build a network among people to you can utilize for. You can help each other, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the teamwork life.
Yeah, that teamwork life. But one of the smart challenge part when I get into this student ambassadors that you have to manage the time. I got a lot of stuff to do right now. I'm a student, a campus entrepreneur, I'm a CS student, I got a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. At least I got 5 reports to do by the end of the semester, and I got to manage my solo as well, develop my our call-out with my GT team. So that was pretty exciting, promising, and pretty awesome. But you also need to have some sort of time management skill that help you to accomplish all the stuff. So otherwise, you would just get lost in the end. Yeah.
Oh my God, it seems you are so busy.
Yeah, so busy. Recently, especially in May, because we got a lot of stuff to do. Especially all the stuff coming in May. But and one of the more exciting stuff is that I will receive a admission decision. That's one of the great news I'm coming on. Admission decision for MIT, so to see if I'm getting into the MIT. So that's pretty exciting. But I'm not sure where I'm getting in. But if I get in, then the whole path will be different. But if I'm not getting in, I was still moving on my path, tech entrepreneur as well as the computer science.
I'm curious about what's the period of the Microsoft.
Basically year by year, which means that you have to apply for 2021 or 2022.
Okay.
And
it means the first year you have to
you apply
once?
Yeah, you apply 2020 I apply for it for 2021.
Oh, okay.
And then once I get into 2021 and I will start my journey for a year. But if I did a really good job in it, maybe I can graduate with a SWAT program. If there's several milestones within that project. With that program, which is you have to start with 0, which is just new to this program, to have much support. But more support coming from once you invest more time and effort into that program. So it is equal. It's very dynamic environment. So for example, you have to first 0 and then come to alpha. How do you get into alpha? You have engagement in our community with the other student ambassador, with the program manager, some sort of stuff like that. And you have to complete at least one Microsoft Learn learning path. And once you complete that, then you are advanced to alpha. And once you host another the first ever online event, then you will move on to the beta, which is the third level of the entire program. And in the end, if you be nominated for the goal, and actually elected for the goal ambassador, you will become have the opportunity to become a regional leader of Asia Pacific area or Greater China area, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador leader. and I was pretty great to connect with a lot of people, a lot of great talented people here at Microsoft. By the way, we're going to host an event called Empower Startup with Azure. It's about how I, as a tech entrepreneur, empowering you as an entrepreneurial community, as an individual wanting to start business with the tech skill, how to deploy my web application over Azure with simple steps. Yeah. So my objective is to host the event in the late May or early June. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the entire program. So pretty awesome.
Yeah,
looking
it's
forward
a
to it.
really great chance for you to
It's pretty,
get a lot of
pretty
experience.
awesome. Yeah, so that's a pretty great and unique opportunity, especially for a computer science student. You can utilize your skill, your computer, your computer, your programming skill to help others, to empower others to solve problems. Because I saw a lot of students that on campus wanted to start a business, but they don't have that sort of tech skill.
Yeah.
So they're not able to come up with the idea that can utilize technology to solve problems. But over the time is that if you have that technology, you have that mindset, that tech mindset, you have to have that capacity, then you want to be able to solve problems that you never solved before.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty awesome to empower entrepreneurial community here on campus in TKU or even NTU in the future to help them to be a stronger. And they can be a not just tech entrepreneur or only entrepreneur, but they will have a tech capacity because our emergency and company says that every company in the future in coming decade will be a tech firm because that every company will need technology to solve the problem. So that will be a tech company, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what I'm talking about when it comes to building startup. You have to utilize technology. That's for sure.
Oh, it's so surprising that you're just only the freshman. You have a lot
Yeah, but I believe that you're getting started in university.
Yeah.
But what matters most, the whole journey is yours.
of, yeah.
So you have to control. You are the pilot in your own life. You are the author of the whole story. So
Yeah.
all you have to do is just get started. I mean, you have to give the requirements so called required for forgiveness, not permission. A lot of people say, "Oh, I need to get some sort of permission to something, and get some permission to do something." But that's not sure. You can get started, and if that's not the case, you cannot do that. The part for forgiveness, that's okay to do that. And a lot of people say, "I'm not this and that." Give it a try. Go for it. That will surprise you because some of the students won't be able to understand unless you give it a try.
Yeah.
Like in a store, I never saw I would be a store founder. I never saw I be a tech entrepreneur. I never saw I be a Microsoft student ambassador. But right to now, maybe give it a shot. Yeah, that'll be pretty awesome.
Thanks for your inspiring story.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to be here, and pretty great to have some good opportunity that Julie invited me to be this part of the journey. So yeah, pretty awesome, and see you maybe on cameras or anytime.
Honestly, I'm still very surprised that you just only did this freshman and you have a lot of energy to do.
Yeah,
you
you have a passion to empower myself with the people around me
Yeah.
to be a better person for myself. I believe that the reason why I'm applying with my team, one of the reasons is that I wanted to be a better person myself, so I took that opportunity to apply for it, and the result are coming out and for coming days. I'm not sure about it, but yeah, give it a shot.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you. Yeah, anytime. It's great to be here.